look, if you want to get to the next level that you want to, get to in your life, you need to visualize yourself, beyond ordinary, right? And I sort of took this, and this is why we have got this, Magnate, opportunity call. Okay, you guys? So let's get started, and I'm really, really excited for what's about to come, because I know that a lot of lives can effectively change, and a lot of lives will basically change. Now, I want to quickly talk about something, right? And I'm going to say this. I know that we are excited. Some of you guys are on the call, but I can guarantee you guys, right? This is not for everyone, and this will not be for everyone. Okay, I can prophesy that. Okay, guys, this will not be for everyone. Now, I'll tell you this because, when I started learning about Forex, I never actually believed that people could learn how to make money through Forex. I thought that it was a whole entire scam, like how maybe some of you guys here would effectively think, right? And the reason why I thought it was a scam is that I thought it was impossible for somebody to tell you what the market is likely going to do. Like, how can you possibly tell? How do you know what the market is effectively going to do? How do you know what the next move of the market is effectively going to be, right? And I never really believed anybody that said that they were Forex traders. I actually thought that people that were trading Forex were effectively full of garbage. And and that was my belief system for quite a long time. And I know that there are some people here on this call who actually have the same belief systems that I had, where you really believe that this thing, it doesn't, how can it effectively work, right? And that was my journey for a very, 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 very long time, up until obviously I'd gotten mentorship from people that exposed me to how the foreign exchange market really works. And I started to learn trading, and my life effectively changed. Now, let me tell you guys, and I'm going to disrupt your thinking. If you are here and you've traded before, Magnate University is not a university that trades, just by general trend lines, okay? If trend lines were so effective, then 95% of people wouldn't effectively lose money in the market, okay? So if you are a trader and you're using trend lines, I apologize, but I don't apologize at the same time, right? I apologize for the fact that you might have been fed, wrong information, but I don't apologize, because I know that by virtue of you guys being here, your whole level of thinking when it comes to Forex, will eventually change, okay, everybody? So for me, I then had to, adopt a level of thinking when it effectively comes to this game. When I realized that, okay, with the right kind of knowledge, with the right kind of information, you could then effectively level up. And I then did that, right? And I became a multi-time, funded trader, currently managing over $500,000. And I'm excited, and I've helped a lot of people do exactly the same thing, that I've effectively done as well, everybody, okay? So that was me, okay? That was me. And I get some of you guys who would be on this call and say, but, how can I ever believe that Forex is actually true, right? How do we effectively know? I was there before. So what I'm going to teach you is very, very simple. I'm going to teach you guys how to create a full-time income without ever having to work, for a boss. Number two, I'm going to show you guys a system that can actually help you guys, right? And I'm going to say this boldly. I'm going to show you guys a system, if applied right, that can help you to retire in 90 days. Is there something that you guys would like to hear? If it's something you guys would like to hear, just give me some 111s on the comment section. Quickly, go to your comment section and give me some 111s. If you guys would like to learn how to retire, or how to create a full-time income without having to work for a boss, or how to retire from your job in 90 days, if you apply what we teach at Magnate University, give me some 111s in the comment section. Okay, so we see the 111s. Kanyiso, Ratilo, Estembiso, Lunga, okay, well done, guys. Well done. So, and I'm saying this because, we designed a system in Magnate University that can actually help you, to literally do that in under a month. One gentleman came to our program, spent 2 hours with us, and in the space of a month he made over 50,000 rand. So we know exactly what it is that we are talking about right now. Okay, and you guys are going to hear from a 22-year-old that also made, in the past 6 weeks, has made over 100,000. Okay, guys. So our whole impact with Magnate University is two modules. Well, how to retire early, and also how to build your dream income, trading Forex and also cryptocurrencies, right? That is our goal, and that is effectively what we want to achieve, right? So Bongi did mention that we are Magnate University, and I've got 8 years experience in the market. But there's something also that I did not mention, right? When it effectively comes into this game, not only have I helped more than 10 people make their first million last year, I think last year I did over 100 people that came in through my pipeline that I helped build profitability when it effectively comes to this game. So I helped them build profitability, I helped them build consistency. So even though they did not make, their first million, but a lot of them, were able to be profitable, and a lot of them were able to be consistent, and a lot of them were able to profit, from their financial, markets. Okay. And how I've been able to do this is, so again, I paid 500,000 rands plus minus in school fees to learn what I know, to get the kind of knowledge that I got. I mean, I did programs through Yale University, through SciFirm, South African Institute for Financial Markets, written different kinds of examination models over there. And I can tell you guys, so my experience is vast, right? You're talking to someone, and you guys are being exposed to someone that knows how the Chicago Board of Trade was effectively built. In actual fact, some of my mentors, were actually guys that were directors on the Chicago Board of Trade, right? So if you want to learn, or if you coming into this, or as you have come into this, you are learning from people that know trading from the inside perspective. Now, some of you will think that just because we know trading from the inside perspective, we never lose in the market, and that is absolutely false. However, our win rate is very, very high. If you look at some investment banks that I'm going to mention in this session, they have a 90% win rate. So even banks, although many of their positions never go rogue, but even banks, they effectively lose some trades, but they've got a high win ratio. Why? Because of a model that we call continuous link settlements, in which that's not something that I'm going to speak about right now. Okay, so now, I'm standing in your shoes right now, everybody. Okay, you guys are here, and I'm reminded about the fact that I once sat, on a meeting like this and heard somebody speaking about how forex could effectively change my life. Now, why we then decided to do this was because at the meeting that we were at, although they taught their concept at the time, but the only thing they taught us was, all you'd have to do is draw lines on your chart, and apparently you then build, success. And my story was cut, very quickly, that I almost gave up on forex. Okay, so in my mind, it was me and Ngaba having the innate desire to actually get to the next level when it comes to the forex industry. But the problem is that I was failing, and the reason why I was failing is because I was taught wrong information. Okay, everybody, because now here's the thing, right? And I always say this, right? If banks who have over 90% win rate in the market, don't draw just lines on the chart, don't use all these different kinds of technical indicators that everybody has, like the stochastic, the relative strength index, and all these different kinds of indicators, how do you think that you would actually profit well from the market doing exactly what banks effectively don't do? Here's the deal, guys. You're trying to take money from smart people that are effectively trying to take money from you. So here's the way that you do it. You want to play the game like exactly how they effectively play the game. That's all that you want. You want to position yourself like how institutional traders, how institutional investors position themselves, and that is effectively how you build profitability in the market. It is just that simple. So the reason why I failed is, although I had information, but the wrong kind of information. So I was made for failure. I had an innate desire to make it, but I was effectively met, with failure. And I was, reminded when I was actually taught by, one of the guys who actually helped me now to become, the kind of trader that I am. And, and he said this one thing, right? If you're taking money from smart people, all you want to do is you want to understand some of the technical aspects that you, or want to understand some of the things that these big traders effectively use, so that you can then benefit. Why does that effectively help? It helps you because by doing something right, or by learning the right kind of information, it then inadvertently changes your life, and by virtue of your life being changed, then your family's life gets changed, right? So it's important that you want to learn the correct kind of information. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, you become a statistic. Okay, you become a statistic. And what does stats say? Stats say that 90% of traders lose 90% of their funds in 90 days. First of all, stats also say that 90% of people quit trading within 2 years, and 50% of people quit trading, within 2 months. Okay, those are the stats. Now, if you don't do things the right way, you become part of the statistic, which is what I was, and how I effectively got to a level where I wanted to quit trading up until I learned from the right principles. And ever since I learned the right way of trading from the right kind of people, then my life effectively started to change. So the importance of having the right kind of information with the right kind of mentors is that now it's the bridge between your life being stagnant, or your life being in the same level, to your life then basically changing forever, when now you can experience some breakthroughs like Patrick Kumalo's and also the young gentleman label that I'm basically going to introduce over here, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm comfortably saying that we've effectively cracked the code. Now here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, right? And this was a contribution to how I came to know what I currently know right now. I decided, ladies and gentlemen, that if there's one thing that I would do, is that I understood a very important principle to life, right? And here's the principle, okay? I was not willing to settle for less. I wanted to know as much as I possibly can, but I did not just want to learn from anybody. I wanted to know as much as I possibly can, but I also then wanted to learn from professional traders, who then knew how these markets effectively work. Do you guys get me, right? That's how I came to know what I know. So I decided in my life that I would never settle for less. So what did I do? I went out and I paid people for the information that I wanted, because I realized that I could not get information from from some of the people that were effectively teaching forex. And let me be honest with you, right? The forex industry in South Africa, the forex industry in the world is run, well, not the industry in itself, but the forex retail industry is run by people that have no absolute idea in terms of what they're talking about. Now, if you guys know us and you know myself, the entire team, and I'm sure some of you guys watch my interview with Top Trader SA. If there's something that you'll understand from us, is that we've got a high sense of knowledge, right? Because we've gotten the correct kind of information with the correct kind of people. So we don't play or we don't joke around. So I decided to pay. Yes, at the time I thought that it cost me a lot, but guess what? I never decided to count the cost of a spade, while I was effectively digging for gold. That's how I effectively got to know what I know. I was willing to do anything, to get what I know. And I asked this, one gentleman, so what would it take, for you, if I was to teach you something that could help double your income, in the next 3 to 6 months? What would you give me as a reward? And this person says that, number, if you were to teach me how to double my income in the next 3 to 6 months, I would give you absolutely anything. And ladies and gentlemen, we have found the complete money glitch, and that is coming into this industry, and learning about how to effectively navigate the foreign exchange markets. But let me tell you something, right? It took me many, many years to learn how to trade, forex, because for the better part of it, I thought to myself that I don't need a mentor. Now, I know maybe you're on this call and, maybe you're convinced by the fact that you don't need a mentor. Now, what I started to do, right, knowing what I know right now, I started to buy mentorship from people that were actually offering mentorship, but it was low-end products. So what does that mean? I would buy mentorship from people that would give me a 1,000 Rand product for a lifetime mentorship. And guess what? Effectively, that did not happen at all. That did not happen at all. I did not get the lifetime mentorship. I did not get the value that I wanted. I did not effectively learn what I effectively wanted to learn. So what did I do, ladies and gentlemen? I decided, that I would effectively level up, right? I decided that I would level up and get to where I effectively wanted to be. Okay, so not only did I pay mentors, where I paid thousands of dollars for, but I also bought books, because I realized that there was a difference, between low-end quality products and also, there's a difference between something that is free and something that is paid. Now, for me, and there's a lot of people, people want free stuff. They want free stuff, and, they want people to give them things for free. But, here's what I learned very, very quickly, that the things that are free will most often cost you more than the things that you effectively have to pay for, or the things that are low-end quality products will often cost you more than what you have to pay for. Now, somebody might ask me, but Q, what do you mean by this? Right? Here's what I mean by this. Go to a shop and buy a t-shirt, for $40 or for $30 or for $50, right? And then go to a shop and buy a t-shirt, for $500. You'd see that there's a innate difference in terms of quality. Okay, now if I'm continuing to pay and buying shirts for $50, then I effectively know that sooner or later I would have to buy it again and again and again and again and again. And in my life, I decided that that's not who I effectively wanted to become. Now, one of the books that we actually started to read, and I actually started to read, paid for, started to read, in my model to building myself up when it comes to this industry, is a book called Margin of Safety. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to understand value investing. I wanted to understand how investing effectively works. I wanted to understand how to trade the stock market, which stocks to effectively buy and when. And I realized that if I'm going to then progress in terms of where I wanted to get to, then I needed to effectively get some information that could then lead me to the level or lead me to the place in which I wanted to effectively get to. So, ladies and gentlemen, check this thing out, right? So are you guys still with me? If you guys still with me, just give me some 222s or give me some fire emojis on the chat section. What I'm going to do right now, before I call on my brother, my young mentee, right? What I'm going to do right now is I'm quickly going to go to Google, and I want to show you the quality of information that we've been able to possess, and you guys don't effectively have to pay what we paid, because all of this information that we paid to actually gather, we effectively then teach it in the mentorship for not even half of what it costs for us, to help people win. Okay, so I see all of your tutus, I see all of your fire emojis. Now check this, guys, right? So what I'm going to do right now is, if you can go to Google, okay, And while you're in Google, I want you to type margin of safety. So watch this, right? So I'm gonna go to my Google, and I'm gonna type margin of safety. Now watch this, guys. Margin, okay, of safety. Okay, this is a book that we effectively read, as Magnate University, and this is effectively what then got us to the next level. Margin of safety. Here's the book, guys. Okay, and I want you to check this thing out, because this then will depict, the kind of value that we would actually then share for you guys, and what it actually cost us to get to where we effectively want to get to. So I'm just waiting for Bing to load, and I want to show you. Okay, here we go, guys. Sorry, margin of safety, right? And what we're gonna do, it's a book, obviously, on corporate finance, and I actually wanna put it on Amazon so that I can just show you guys how much this book will cost you just to buy it on on Amazon. Okay, just so that you guys can understand the kind of people that you're effectively dealing with. Okay, for risk, it's basically risk averse investing. Okay, so let's actually get to it. There we go, and it is about to load in the next minute or so. Okay, so let's just wait for it, everybody. So what you start to learn, everybody, is that we require, or for us, it's very important that you guys get the right kind of knowledge. Okay, so margin of safety, the hardcover book right now, and obviously this is a second version of the book currently on Amazon. How much does it go for, guys? I want you guys to type it down in the comment section for me. I don't want to mention it. Look on your far right hand side of the screen. How much does a hardcover book of margin of safety go for right now? Okay, just quickly type it down for me on the screen, guys. I don't have much time. Quickly. Okay. Somebody says 148,644. Correct, right? And this is obviously a second-hand version. Okay, so let's go. What do you guys see on Amazon? This one here, the second-hand version that you guys see, is about 932. Okay, 100%. Continue typing. What are you guys saying? 144,209. Okay, so you guys can see, right? So again, this is the second version of this book. Imagine one book costing you about 144,000. Imagine a hardcover second version of the book costing you about 932 dollars. Now here's the deal, guys. We've gotten this kind of information. We've read these kind of books. We've gotten to a level where we had to learn, so that we could give you guys the right kind of information, so that when you come to us as Magnate University, you are dealing with people that have paid ample amount of money to learn what they know, to know what they know. So the version of what we bring over here, guys, is something that will help you guys to win, and something that will effectively help you guys to elevate. Now the second thing that I want you guys to share for me very, very quickly is, I'm going to show you guys, right, day trading with short-term price patterns and the opening range breakout. So that book in itself also will cost you about $1,000 plus. So you can get to imagine the kind of people that you're effectively dealing with. Now you probably hear and say, okay, cool, I'm excited, and I want to effectively know more, but you basically have internal objections, right? Now there are a few objections that you might have. Number one, is the vehicle suitable for you to use? Number two, you've got some internal objections. Can I do this or not? And number three, do I have time? Okay, which is basically what a lot of people do. So I'm employed. Will I have time to trade? Number two, can I effectively do this? Right. Number three, is this vehicle very, very suitable for me to use? Now, take it from somebody that has been in this for about 8 years right now. The foreign exchange vehicle, with the right kind of information, with the right kind of mindset, will effectively move you from one level to another. I don't need to work for anybody ever in my life. Why? Because I've got skill, ladies and gentlemen. I've got skill. I don't need to work for 30 days or for 40 hours for 40 years only to get 40% of my retirement income. I don't need to do that. So we bring about a vehicle as Magnate University, both in Forex and crypto, where we say that do this thing by yourself. Stop relying on companies, stop relying on other people to do this for you. The vehicle in itself is very conducive, because we are dealing with a $7.5 trillion a day market, ladies and gentlemen, right? And all you're just doing per day is that you're just grabbing those small crumbs, okay, of that 7.5 trillion dollars a day. Okay, so again, this is very, very important, and this is very, very critical. So number one, the vehicle. Then number two, the internal objections. Okay, now internal means that do I believe in myself in order for me to do this? Now what we've done as Magnate University is that we put in a program that then can effectively give you guys what is effectively required of you in terms of dealing with your internal self. Okay, we have simple strategies that you guys can use to profit from the market, and then effectively build yourself up to get to the next level. And the third element with this is external, right? Will I have time? And we've created a program with Magnate University whereby you can have time, to effectively go in and trade whatever session, based obviously on what we call as output in our mentorship program. Okay, everybody. So this will help you guys a lot. And we'll basically get into what strategy we use and how we've then effectively were able to build ourselves up. Right now, before I get into the strategies that we use and I get into the 4 secrets, I want to quickly call upon Lebu. Are you here, my brother? Lebu, are you here, my king?
Yes, I am.
There
I'm
we
here.
go. Can you hear me?
Sorry?
Can you hear me, my boy?
Yes, I'm able to hear you now.
Okay, wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay, guys. So this is Lebu, and I basically want him to share, his story, right? So I'm gonna ask him a few questions, just 1 or 2 minutes, and then I want you guys to listen to the story of, this young man. Okay, Lebs, how old are you, my king?
22 years old.
Okay, you're 22 years old, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. And when did you join Magnate University?
I think beginning of March, if not beginning of April.
Okay, so
Oh,
beginning of
April.
March, April, that's when you came into Magnate, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, my brother. Lovely. So I think it's been over, but as they say, it's been over 6 weeks plus minus, yeah?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, my brother. Cool, man. And then tell us, how much money have you made within the past 6 weeks with Magnet University?
Just over $5,000.
Okay, guys, listen to this, guys. He's a 22-year-old young man, right? Over the past 6 weeks, he's made over $5,000. Are you guys listening to me, right? Over $5,000 in the past 6 weeks with Magnet University. Camp. So I want you quickly, my brother, just to give reference to how what actually helped you to win when it effectively comes to the markets, right? Maybe you don't have to reveal the strategy, but just tell us what helped you to win, what was different in Magnet University with all the other institutions that you'd actually experienced before, and why Magnet, right? And also would you recommend Magnet University to other people? So yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Well, of course, I'd recommend Magnet to any other person that I meet because essentially it has changed my life. From the moment I went into the program, I literally just followed step by step everything that you have said in the various channels that the members use to communicate. And I just told myself basically just by listening to the lessons that you posted there. And yeah, basically all I did was just listen to you and apply. Then I made the money. Simple. And with that being said, yeah, it sounds so simple, but effectively, that's exactly what happened. And for me, that was mind blowing when I eventually got into contact with Neo, the founder as well, because I couldn't believe it as well. So I told him what had happened, and he said, "Yeah, this is just the beginning." But I feel as though I'm not different to the average person. I just listen to what you, Coach K, said the lessons and just apply it. And then boom, the magic happened.
There we go. I love that. I love that. And quick one, was it difficult applying what I teach?
No, because for me, I had prior experience to trading. So essentially, what you were
Yeah.
teaching was something that I had no idea about. But because of my trading background, I was able to catch on, not quickly at first, but after a few times going over and over, because I also gave my time to actually listen and to understand before actually going into the market. Because when I eventually wanted to go into the market, I just wanted to hit the ground running, and that's what happened.
Beautiful. Ah, beautiful, my king. Beautiful. Love that, guys. So you've heard it from him, Mr. Lebu. Thank you, my king. I really, really appreciate that a lot, right? 22-year-old guys made $5,000 in the past 6 weeks. And all he had to do was listen to what I was saying, apply what I was saying, and bam, there we go. And that's how he effectively made money. And that's how he changed his life. I mean, $5,000 at the age of 22, ladies and gentlemen, is something crazy. So there's a guy here on our chat who says, "My brother, tell us what we already have the knowledge." Mpo Nechijive, I can guarantee you, my brother, No, you don't. I can guarantee you. I'm just saying, no, you don't, right? You've got no idea at all, my king. No idea at all. So well done, my king. And I just want to quickly bring on about, Mahmoud Diana. Quickly, Mahmoud Diana. Can you hear me? Thanks, Lebu. Appreciate it, my boy, and well done.
Yes, I can hear you, King. Hello.
All right, ma'am. Perfect. Okay, perfect, Mama Diana. Lovely. So you are from Ireland. You joined, our Magnate, experience when we had it here. Okay, it came all the way from Ireland, to South Africa, and you are part of us. Had a blast with you, had an amazing time with you, and yeah, man, and you've just been coining it. You've been winning in the market. I want you to tell us why Magnate University, number one, and how has the experience, been for you, all the way from Ireland, meeting us, here in South Africa, and partnering with us, and how has your journey changed by becoming part of Magnate University?
Okay. First of all, thank you for asking me to share my experience. I don't even know where to start because it's been a long journey. Why Magnate University? Why Magnate University? Because there's a lady that lives here in Ireland, but she's now in South Africa. That is linked with you guys. And she told me about Magnate University last year, and I said, no, you go ahead. I'll be watching. And eventually she told me, look, I've made a lot of money now. I'm going to Africa. I'm leaving Ireland. And I'm like, really? She said, yeah. And she packed her bags. She left Ireland. She now lives in South Africa. And I said, you know what? You started in January. I'm starting as well. January, I'm going to start next year. So the January I'm talking about is this year. So I rang her up. I said, look, I've seen how well you've been doing, how Magnate University has changed your life. You are now managing to enjoy your life, like do everything that you want. The things that people see on YouTube and whatever, that's the life she's living now. I want to join in. So I joined in, and what I can say is the moment I joined in, the strategies, the process of what we are learning, the information was totally different and simple. Very simple, like baby steps. It's very, very simple to understand and simple to implicate. But the difficulty then is the mind. My mind was like, no, this is what I need to do. And then you'll be like, no, you're not a tree. If the market is changing, change as well. So the strategies and the lessons, believe you me, if you follow what you are being taught, you apply what you are being, the strategy, it will work for you. So I started journaling. I'll make money, I'll lose money. Then I'll go back and say, what's the problem? Okay, I'm driving and I'm trading, right? I'm putting a trade and I'm driving. I want to sleep, I put a trade and I sleep. No, 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 no. So anyway, I don't know what else I can say, but now I'm telling you, I am making money. I won't disclose, but I am
Let's
fine.
go.
And very soon, I'll also be retiring. You
There
see,
we
so I
go.
don't know what else to add there, but why Magnate University is the right way to go. Because I used to pay people to trade for me. I used to pay people to give me signals. So I've lost a lot of money. If I calculate it all together, it reaches around 500,000.
Whoosh.
You see,
Mm.
there's a lot. Like I will join crypto features. I'll be liquidated. I'll put another $1,000. I don't know how many $1,000 I put.
Eish.
But now I'm not doing that anymore. And you
Yes,
remember when I
ma'am.
first started the journal, you were saying we journalize what we're doing. I started, was it $8? And that $8 went to
Yes.
$74 within 1 week. So if you
Wow.
multiply that $8, say $8, say maybe the $8 was $1,000. Divide
Hmm.
74 by 8, you are getting about 7, isn't it? So which means
Yeah.
1,000 would have been 7,000 in 1 week. So I don't know in
Wow.
rands. I
Wow.
don't know in rands. How much is that?
Sure. Sure. That's over 150,000, somewhere around there, 130,
Uh-huh,
250,000.
uh-huh, uh-huh. In 1 week. So yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Ma, thank you so much. We really, really
Mm,
appreciate it. And,
mm.
you know, you are, what we call resilience. And I'm so happy that you found home with Magnate University. One last question. Would you ever, go into any other mentorship program after joining Magnate
No,
University
no,
or
no, no, no,
becoming
no,
part of us?
no, not even finishing your question. I'm okay. Like you see, I go back to your trainings, I go back to them, I go back to Discord and play them again and practice and go back. But once you get off track, it's like a train. If you get off track, you find yourself losing. So maintain
Correct.
the track, yeah. And thank you so much. Well, was it last week? I was in South Africa 2 weeks ago. I was in
Yes.
South
2 weeks
Africa
ago.
and it was nice to see you guys in person. Thank you.
Wow, thank you
Mm,
so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Queen. And
thank you, Sam.
you are phenomenal. Well done. And we are super, super proud of you. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. I'm proud of being part of
Beautiful.
Magnate as well. Thank you.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Guys, let's give her some fire emojis. Give her some fire emojis. Well done, to Queen Diana. Okay, guys. So I'm quickly going to delve now, family, right, into something that has, effectively helped us to win. Before I call on the founder and CEO of Magnate University, the gentleman who bore, this vision and the reason why we are all here. And I'm just gonna, really give him his flowers before he comes in. But just before that, I want to quickly just share something with you guys. We obviously share. So you might ask yourself, why are we different as Magnet University? The reason why we're different as Magnet University is that we had developed, a strategy that had effectively helped us to win largely in the financial market. That was based on a certain degree of, data sets, right? So there are ways in which we view the market that are far more different than what you basically see out there. In actual fact, a lot of the models that we share, cannot be found on Google, and cannot be found on YouTube. Well, maybe you can find, one or two of those models because they did originate from somewhere. But I can guarantee you guys, when we really start to delve deep into trading and delve deep into, our advancement, then you'd actually find that, some of the things that we share, are not found anywhere. Why? Because we create our own strategies, towards the market. So we've got Magnet 02, Magnet 03, whatever the case may be, right? Now, quickly delving into the 4 secrets and what actually helped us to win in the financial markets, what helped us to know what we know. Number one, we realized that we could never actually make it big without having a degree of personal development, right? So one of the things that we did was then to effectively develop ourselves and get ourselves to the next level. So in our training, what we would always preach and what we always teach is that your being is very, very important. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you see, you've got to be able to have the skill, to, even in trading, right, to be able to visualize the outcome that you want, and to effectively develop yourself into a trader. Now, there's one simple trick that I use to be profitable, and that trick is always to say that I am a profitable trader. I wake up in the morning, I trade like a professional, I trade profitably. And that's effectively how I build. Guys, we're not taking any questions right now up until the presentation is done. Okay, so we started to build on that, right? And this became part of what we call our 4 Magnate secrets. Okay, the second element to this was we started to develop ourselves from a personal development, from a not only from a personal development perspective, but we also then started to understand that one of the things that are most important when you go into the market is data. Okay, having the correct kind of knowledge, having the correct kind of data, right? So now my brother and all, I always would say this, right? If you take if you want to predict what the weather is going to be tomorrow, maybe you guys can actually type this for me. what would you use, right? Would you rather use somebody telling you what the weather is going to be, or would you rather, or would you rather use the weather app that can effectively tell you what the exact weather is going to be tomorrow? So just type it down in the comment section for me, right? If you guys were to predict the weather, would you use a weather app, or would you rather, guess what the weather would effectively be? Which one would give you the most accurate, kind of data? You guys can just type it on the comment section for me, okay? And now, whilst you guys are typing that on the comment section for me, so what we then started to do was we started to use some data models when it comes to the markets. So we started to go onto platforms like Bureau of Labor Statistics, Bureau of Economic Analysis, and all these different kinds of data models that can help you guys to get to the next level, right? And when we applied the real-time data, that is then effectively how things started to change for us. And and that was a way in which we then started to build, right? So we understood that data, personal development, is very important, but also number two, we created simplified strategies that anyone can use, right? So you don't have to be intimidated by the market. Even you can use these simple strategies. Again, the last thing was trading psychology, through, a gentleman, we read books through Mark Douglas, Tom Hogarth, and the like. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just show you guys, one of our models that we effectively use to trade. Now, this is gonna, address the guy that said that he had the knowledge. I can guarantee you, brother, you probably don't have the knowledge that you purport yourself to have, right? And I don't mean to brag or anything of that nature. Okay, Magnate University is different. That's a guarantee. Now, check this thing out, right? Can you guys see my screen at this current moment in time? Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Quickly. Who can see my screen? The weather app. Yes, the weather app. Correct. Okay, if you can see my screen, just give me a 222 on the chat section, please. I see Kuzim Chi can see my screen. Okay, who else can see my screen? Oratilwe, who else? Karabo, Emma. Okay, you guys can basically see my screen, right? Now, I can guarantee you guys, a lot of you have not seen what I'm actually presenting here for you, okay? Which is basically one of the models that we use to trade in the market. And this is obviously some intel, some insights that we use, right? Where we look at things like time in sales. And I'm just showing you to get to expose you what you guys will learn from our advanced methodologies when it comes to trading, okay? So this is basically, time in sales. We're looking at the DOM, which is the depth of market chart. We're looking at, we're looking at the, market depth. We're looking at things like heat maps. We're looking at things like cumulative delta, imbalances, whatsoever the case may be, right? So even if you are an advanced trader and you say that, no, I've got this kind of knowledge, okay, if you don't know how to read a heat map, then it's a problem. You're not as advanced as you think. If you don't know what cumulative delta is, if you don't know what real imbalances in the market are, if you don't know what aggregation is, all of these things, right? I'm not going to get into the real technicals of it, but I'm just trying to show you that what you get to be exposed to when you get to our advanced level when it comes to this particular program. So you're not just learning how to draw trend lines on your chart. You're not doing that. You're not just learning how to put stochastics on the chart. You're not doing that. We're showing you real intel, real insights that you can get in the market produced by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's it, right? And this is how you effectively build yourself up. You know bids, you know imbalances, you know sales. So that's why we said that Magnate University is different, right? It's not like any other mentorship program that you'd effectively get out there, okay? Because we teach you how then to build yourself from a not knowing how to trade to effectively an advanced trader. And then lastly, I'm going to give you guys a strategy that you guys can apply right now that can cause you to win in the market. Again, guys who are in my program, please don't, effectively get upset with me. But I think let's just basically drop this one value, and then we'll basically take things from there. Okay, guys. So now here's what happens. Okay, what would happen in most instances is that, ladies and gentlemen, the first hour of what happens in the market is that the first hour of New York. Okay, there are 4 trading sessions that we have, right? We've got New York, we've got Tokyo, we've got London, we've got Sydney, but we obviously only use 3: New York, London, and we also use Tokyo. Now, what you'll find is that what happens with these 3 sessions is that then the reason why we want to trade the New York session is that the New York session is filled with a lot of volume, right? It helps us to effectively navigate the market and helps us to effectively trade the market. Now, there's a very simplified strategy that we use towards New York, right? And this is what I always say to people in the beginning, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, you don't need to trade news, okay? You always want to trade what happens after news, because those moves that happen are always greater. That's number one. But also number two, you don't need to trade before the New York Stock Exchange open. You want to trade, the New York Stock Exchange open when it happens. You don't need to trade before it, but you want to trade 5 minutes after it. Why? Because 5 minutes, when this happens, there's a lot of what we call supply and demand, in the first 5 to 15 minutes. So you don't want to be in the market in those first 5 to 15 minutes. What you want to do is that you want to get in after the first 5 minutes, right? So if you're in South Africa, you're going to take the time from at 3:30 to about 3:35, and then what you're going to simply do is you're going to mark the highest candle, and you're going to mark the lowest. So you're going to go to the 5 minute time frame, you mark the highest point, and then you mark the lowest point. And all you simply do is that after the 5 minutes is done, you look for an expansion in either the downside direction or the upward direction, and then you look for the market coming back, retracing here, back to the 5 minute high or the 5 minute low, depending on direction or breakout. And then you would then take your buy on the retracement and then ride the market to the upside. Okay. If it's a downside objective, then you do the opposite. You do the exact same thing, but exactly in the downside and opposing direction, right? It is just as simple as that. Okay. So if the market breaks the downside objective like this, take the first 5 minute candles from 9:30 to 9:35 Eastern time, or you take the first 5 minute candle from about 3:30 to 3:35. And then all you simply do is that you look for the direction of breakout, wait for the market to retest that, and then then you would go about, and then you would take either your sell or your buy. Okay. And this strategy, ladies and gentlemen, happens after every single time. Now, what we spoke to with Mom Diana is that this thing builds, preference, right? It gives you a model that you can effectively trade. Now, why we say that you are not a tree is that if you happen to take a sell when the market breaks out of this level, right, and it goes in the opposing direction, you will then take the opposing trade, right? That's why we say that you're not a tree. Okay, one of the things you'll learn from us is that you are not a tree. If the market doesn't go your direction, look for what it's trying to do and then just follow the trend. So in this case, it broke to the downside, retested and sold, and maybe if the stop loss was there, it would have stopped you out. And then the next layer of this is that it broke to the upside, came back, and then retested the high of this level. And this trade for the rest of the day, ladies and gentlemen, continued to give you about 37 points over there, but in most cases this will give you over 100, 200, and even 3 to 500 points, okay, on an almost every single day basis when you're effectively looking at this. If you take this particular day over here where we broke to the upside, came back, we retested on the 20th of May. Look what happened thereafter, okay? The market printed just from this one strategy, the market printed to the upside, and you can basically see over there that this gave you over what? This gave you over 78 points. Sorry, this is for gold, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm basically using this for gold. Sorry about that. I actually wanted to use this for Nasdaq. No wonder I'm actually just looking at these points over here. So if you look at it for Nasdaq, it is exactly the same thing. So let's look at here what happened for Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, what happened? It didn't really break to the upside, broke to the downside over here, did the retest, and this Nasdaq trade short over here, when it retested, what did it do? It gave you over what? It gave you over 268 points. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? 268 points over there. If you go to the previous day, exactly the same thing, broke to the upside, came back for the retest, and this particular short, okay, assuming that you had held the trade all the way down there, this particular short gave you about what? It gave you over 305 points, okay? So 305 points on this day, and then on this day simply gave you over 268 points. Now, would you believe me if I said that this is just a beginner? This is just the beginner thing that you learn when you come to Magnate University. We get so detailed, we got so fast into this program, guys, to basically make a lot of money. If you use the strategy, just like Patrick, you can literally take 1,000 to over 40, 50,000 in under a month. Patrick used this one strategy and his whole life began to change. Now, if we're giving you guys this for free, imagine what else we delve into when coming to our mentorship program. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome a brother, the CEO of Magnate University, the visionary of this particular company, the gentleman of which Magnate University would not have existed, without him. All right. So this guy has basically changed, a lot of lives. And and he's done a lot of things. Please repeat that. Unfortunately, my king, I can't repeat it at this particular moment in time. Why? Because we are running out of time. Okay, but allow me just to quickly say this. Okay, guys. So these are basically our 4 secrets. Obviously, gave you guys the strategy, and now what we're gonna do is I'm going to tell you guys what you're going to get, okay, when you come onto the mentorship program, okay, guys. So we basically got our core products, and we're going to share with you guys exactly what it is that you'll get. So if you come in here, you'll know exactly what it is that you're going to get to build and to become part of us, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now I want to quickly ask you 2 or 3 questions before we're done with this. If you implemented what we think or what we share here at Magnate University, guys, do you think that you guys could be successful? Yes or no? Quickly, just type it on the comment section for me. Do you think that we could be successful if you implemented everything that we teach? Do you think you could be successful when it effectively comes to trading? Yes or no? Okay, let's see the answers. Yes. Okay, lovely. I love that. I love the amount of yeses that are coming through. There's a lot of yeses. Okay, cool. So we put together a program, guys, that can help you move from an aspiring trader all the way to an advanced trader. Okay, so can I have your guys' permission? Do you guys allow me to share some of the things that you will actually get, or when you come into Magnate University, right? Yes. If you guys allow me to share, just type 111 in the comment section, please, guys. Please type 111 on the comment section if you guys would allow me to share what you basically get when you come to Magnate University. Okay, beautiful stuff. Okay, guys. So when you come to Magnate University, you're not going to get how to trade with trade lines. You're not going to get that. You can read that on your own. Okay. So we put together a comprehensive Forex, and cryptocurrency mentorship program that deals a lot with, learning how to trade from the inside perspective. Okay. On a technical point, we've put together a program that can move you from a beginner all the way to an advanced trader. Okay, now again, as young Lebo had said, that some of the things that I teach is never heard about. Some of the things that I'm going to mention with you guys here, probably you have never heard about. So we'll teach you guys about things like, the 22 range charts. We'll teach you guys obviously how to read commitment of traders data, into detail, how to trade with it. We'll teach you guys the base level of fundamentals, how to actually trade, using fundamentals, when it effectively comes into the markets. We'll teach you guys how to trade not only 22 range charts, but we'll teach you guys how to use a strategy called open interest to basically then benefit yourself in the market. You guys will get internal analytical information that effectively comes into the Forex and obviously the cryptocurrency space. And we'll be exposing you guys into detail about things that, how to read things like footprint charts, how to understand real, inside data like time price opportunity charts, how to understand real time data like timing sales, and all of that. So when you come here, you're basically learning real intel information that would then be used otherwise, to profit yourself when you come into Magnate University. Okay. Now we said in the beginning that you don't have to pay as much as we effectively pay to get into, this particular program, or you don't have to pay the 500,000 rands that I basically have to pay. Okay, guys. So here's the deal and here's the offer. Okay, this offer, will just be for today. Okay, we've got 4 products running because we've been asked a lot of times. Okay, Q, what do you do? How can you offer something that we can actually get into, the program with? Okay, so we've got basically, 4 programs that we are doing at the moment. But a one-on-one session, but that one-on-one has actually been sold out. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a one-on-one session anymore. If you want a one-on-one with me, it's gonna be impossible. Okay, because it does not exist. But then we had people, because last year we helped over 10 people make their first million through from trading, and maybe we'll share the results with you guys later, and you guys will actually see that our whole-based model towards this was helping people make their first $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and we achieved that very, very well last year. And these are people that came in and took action. Okay, so we decided this year to bring back that program again. Okay, and this program normally goes for 60,000, but today we're offering it at about 30 grand only. Okay, this is if at half the price. Okay, so we teach you how to be funded, we teach you how to get your first payout, and we also then teach you how to make about $5,000 to $10,000 every single month trading with prop firms. Okay, now we're excited. People like Lebu are also in that program as well. Dr. M, a lot of these guys who are part of our program are part of that program as well. Okay, and then we've got that's a VVIP program. Then we've got a VIP program, which normally goes for 30,000, but today it's going at half the price again at 15,000. So this way you guys can come in and you can get knowledge and insight in terms of what we will share. And again, we get into detail, so you're getting everything at half the cost. and at half the price today, ladies and gentlemen, right? And then for those people that says, okay, cool, I would love to get into the VIP program. I've got insight on trading, but maybe I want to learn how to do this from, from a self-study basis. We also have that self-study. It's normally $10,000, but today with some of the strategies that we teach, today it's going for 5,000 rands. And then, we've then got a loss program, which is a 5-day program that we did, where you learn some of the strategies like the Magnate 02, Magnate 07 strategy. And that one, ladies and gentlemen, is going for only $100, which is about 1,800 rands. Okay, guys, but we'll put everything up for you guys, to those who have attended. When you do enter, the group, we'll put everything up for you, and then, we'll basically take things from there. Okay, everybody. So I want to congratulate everybody, welcome you in advance. And, thank you so much for joining us. And then right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring about, because of time, I'm bringing about the Chief Executive Officer of Magnate University. Okay, this is the gentleman that actually founded this company. This is the guy that actually helped people's dreams to be realized. This is, the gentleman that effectively helped change, a lot of lives. Okay. And I remember when he gave birth to this vision, one of his things was, Naba, look, I want to help as many people as I possibly can. Okay, this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, right? He also, worked in corporate for years, studied electrical engineering, worked in the engineering space as an electrical engineer, and he since has changed many, 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 many lives. He's, he's what I call an outlier, one of the first people ever, to make millions at the age of 25. Now, I only say one thing, right? If you want to be successful, listen to people that have achieved something that maybe you might not have achieved, in your life and in your journey. Listen to them, pay attention to them, do exactly as they say. And this guy, ladies and gentlemen, is the epitome of what we call excellence, the epitome of hope, and the epitome of how to build wealth young and how to retire early. He actually coined, the term, retire early. The CEO, Chief Executive Officer for Magnate University, helped me welcome my brother, the guy who founded this particular vision, the guy who made all of us here, the guy who made all of this possible, a friend, business partner, and the Chief Visionary Officer of Magnate University, Mr. Neo Cheka, guys. So please give me some fire emojis. Let's get the fire emojis as we welcome, the CEO of this very company. Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Me clearly. Please type 1 if you all can hear me clearly. Wow. What an exciting event. What an exciting moment. Type 2 if you found value. If you've been inspired, to shift. Type 2 if this has been something that you can record as a fruitful, engagement. And I want to take this time, ladies and gentlemen, to congratulate all of you guys. Now, here's the deal, guys. I'm about to post. I posted a link, right? And anybody who wants to partner with Magnate University immediately, listen, you want to get the special right now. You want to get all of this at 50% of price. Without wasting any time, click on the link below. Get into the group. Now, here's the deal. A guy called Kanye Sile, myself, Ngaba, the team will be there to help you. You might have, look, I don't know, now do I have enough money? Maybe some of you guys are like, I don't even have the full amount, but I want to get started. We want to talk to you right after this meeting. So without wasting any time, guys, just click the link and it's going to send it to a group. We're going to have your contact. I guarantee you this. Everybody in that group, and at the end, before the end of the night, before this day ends, you would have had a clear plan on what to do to get involved and become part of Magnate University. Make sense? That's a deal? That's a deal for you guys, right? But here's the deal, guys. Please, if you know you don't have money and you're not going to have the money, whatever the case may be, guys, please don't get into the group. We just want to deal with people who are in a position. And if you had entered the group accidentally and you don't know why you were there, exit, please, right? We want to deal with people who are serious. Now, guys, all I'm here to do is I'm here to say, when we started Magnate University, our goal was not to participate. We did not want to just to be any other Forex institution mentorship program. And I said to him, I said, Bo, if we're going to start something, we need to do something that's going to interrupt. Now, for anything to interrupt, now, you might ask yourself, what do you mean when you speak about interrupting? Interrupting means 3 things. It means something is faster, Something is cheaper and something is more convenient. Think about the internet. The internet was faster, the fastest way to communicate between two individuals. People use the internet. It was much more convenient. You didn't have to, there was no third, fourth, like, think about before the internet, people using the post offices. You needed a postman, you needed the envelope, and all these things just to communicate, right? And number three, it's cheaper. Like, it's almost free today to use the internet. Now, that's for us to be disruptive, we needed to do these three things. We needed to become faster. So the average person, it takes an average about 5 to 7 years for people to finally get profitability into the market. We're not going to do it in 5 to 7 years, guys. We're doing it literally in 5 months, 5 to 6 months. In fact, we have people like Lebu who has done it in a matter of 6 weeks. We have people like Untabi saying, she actually got involved in our program. She said, look, I've been trading for 8 years. And I can't believe that after a few couple of lessons, I realized I knew nothing about Forex. Imagine trading for 8 years and only encountering us just for 1 week and realizing you knew nothing about Forex. Now, that's the deal, guys, right? So you're not going to take you 5 years. It's not going to take you 8 years. It's going to literally take you a matter of months. Number two, it's more convenient. The average person over a 5-year period would have gone to 10, 15, 20 different mentorship programs, paid this, blown a couple of accounts. Well, here's the deal, guys. All of that ends at Magnate University. We are a one-stop shop. When you come to us, as Diana said, there's no need for any other mentorship program. That's where we find solace in. That's where we find our comfort in. But lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we are cheaper. Now, you'll be like, no, but you guys are costing 30,000, 60,000. How's it cheaper? Well, here's the deal. Ask yourself a question. If you are trading for 5 years and you're blowing accounts straight on for 5 years, in fact, for 8 years, think about what Diana mentioned to you guys. She says she lost over 500,000 rand trying to know what she knows today. And with us, she only spent $1,000. She spent about 15 to 20,000 then to get involved in our mentorship. She got more for 20,000 than what she did for 500,000. Isn't that a cost saving? We're talking about an average saving, ladies and gentlemen, about 480,000 rand. Now other people might be like, I didn't lose that much yet, right? Because here's the deal: you continue doing what YouTube is teaching you for the next 10 years. I guarantee you, over a 10-year period, you would have lost a couple of hundreds of thousands. Well, that can all end at Magnate University. Now, here's the deal, guys. I'm not here to promise you millions. I'm not here to say you're going to become a millionaire. I'm here to guarantee you an environment. And if you want to become part of this environment, if you want to say, look, now, guarantee me something. Here's what I'm guaranteeing you. I'm guaranteeing you the tools. I'm guaranteeing you the environment. I'm guaranteeing you the information. I'm guaranteeing you access. That's what I'm guaranteeing you for, right? And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Like most mentorship programs, like any other mentorship program, what do? The mentor shows off what he has, shows off his car, shows off where he lives. Well, with us, we're doing it differently. We want to show you what it has done for our students. And right now, our mentorship program is purely, all the testimonials here. Ngaba, you don't know how much Ngaba makes, right? But you know what his students have done. You know what the 22-year-old in our program has just made. You don't know what we have. You might not know unless you know us. You don't know what we drive, right? Because that doesn't matter. What matters is what we teach work. It's working for hundreds of people who are in Magnate University. The question is, why won't it work for you? And if other people are eating, my question is, why aren't you eating? Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I close it off with saying, some people are going to say, I'm going to do this thing one day. And the question I'm going to ask you is, how many one days have you had? Like, you were one daying in 2015, and you're still one daying in 2025 about the things you're one daying about in 2015. And most people are stuck at one day. I will do it. They procrastinate activity. But few people are able to commit and go through with it. And those who win in life, ladies and gentlemen, are those who make a commitment and then stick to that commitment. Now, here's the deal, guys. There's an opportunity. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but for those of you that this has connected with, click on the link below. Let's meet on the other side, right? And I can guarantee you that every single week for 180 minutes, you're going to meet Ngaba live. And I'm telling you, every single month, you're going to get an opportunity to come and see us live as well. Number three, I guarantee you that you're going to have hundreds of thousands of rands worth of educational material at your disposal. We're going to give you have tens of thousands of hours worth of content that we would have amassed, that you have access to on day one. If you don't win with us, I guarantee you will not win anywhere else. Guys, with that being said, let us meet at the top because the bottom is overcrowded. God bless.